Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Divine Platform. This is yours truly, the Literati, and all I do here is for the edification of the Most High and for the restoration of His kingdom. And yes, I can do all these things through Christ, which strengthens me. And it is my prayer that the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart are acceptable to you, God, my strength and Redeemer. That's Philippians 4:13 and Psalms 19:14. Thank you all for tuning in to this channel again. Kindly subscribe if you have not already done so. Thank you to those who keep on tuning back and those who reach out via email. So I've done a part 1 of this already, and that lays the basic foundation. I hope you have watched it. If you haven't, please do, because you will miss the rest of this. It won't make sense if you haven't seen part 1. Okay, in part 2, I will focus on the characteristics of the ORCA. Again, have your pen and paper ready and pause as you need to. And I'm going to breeze through this part 2. So this part is quite crucial as I look at the characteristics of the ORCA. And let's pay attention to these characteristics because these are the characteristics that are displayed by these entities that have their ancestry in this. Okay, these people wear their robes and their broidered garments. The descriptions are frighteningly and shockingly accurate. Let's go. So they are everywhere. So the orca is a cosmopolitan species. It's found in diverse marine environments from Arctic to Antarctic regions and even in the tropical seas. So they are free to roam around the earth. They are literally found everywhere. So they have the ability, by virtue of being widely distributed, to be everywhere, to access and rule the whole world like they're trying to do with their organizations or organizations. Organizations are organizations by their organs, like the government bodies. Those are organs. An organ is an instrumentality. An organ is an orcan, ORCAN. That's your UN, your countries, those are organs or organs of these entities. It even says in this Greek mythology, Oceanus was a Titan son of Uranus and Gaia, the husband of his sister, the Titan Tethys, and the father of the river gods and the Oceanids, as well as being the great river which circled the entire world. So they have the world contained, so to speak. Okay, the other characteristics is that they are apex predators with a diverse diet. So on top we have the orca, and this is the great white shark. So what's an apex predator? It has no non-natural predators on Earth. They're top of the pyramid. I think they've pretty much destroyed all their predators in the marine kingdom. They're top of the pyramid. And by the way, this gives a whole new meaning to the term food pyramid. See, if you have tunnel vision, it looks like a food pyramid, but really it's this is a long banquet table that goes as far as the eye can see. These are the games they play, by the way, with the angles, the lighting, the angles, the positioning, the shapes, the symbols, the signs. So the great white shark is also a known marine apex predator. And so is the orca. And confrontations do occur in stressed environments. And the orca is known to kill the great white shark. Okay. Just one more thing on this food pyramid. Is this picture they present to us giving us, making us focus on scarcity, and thus enabling them to create engineered scarcity? Is that a witchcraft ritual? Because when you see that, you think you can't get to the top because you have to be a certain kind of person or to be able to get to the top, when really this is a long banquet table that goes as far as the eye can see. But once you start creating these rituals, this witchcraft, and you start playing into it, then it starts becoming your reality. Okay? Uh, has anyone seen that Hunger Games? Is it a movie or a TV show? I haven't, but I will look at the plot in a minute. But I have a short video here. I hope it plays. Okay, there we go. So this is the illusion. This hallway just keeps on going and going and going. But if it's static, it looks like a food pyramid. But this is just an illusion that that's created with images like this. And they generalize these applications. Okay? And we make them come true because we are the powerful ones. We have the power to create. And once we buy into that, that's it. It's like that's our consent. We create consent by buying into that, those illusions. Okay? So, Hunger Games plot. Panem is a dystopian nation divided into 12 districts and ruled by its capital. As punishment for a failed rebellion many years before, each district must choose two tributes, a boy and a girl between the ages of 12 and 18, to fight to the death in the annual Hunger Games until only one is left alive. The event is televised across the capital and all districts. So what's a tribute? It's something given up or contributed voluntarily as due or deserved. So because of that rebellion, you have to give up. You're fighting for your freedom, but if you lose, you have to give up one of your children. Look at the ages between 12 and 18. So this is a culture of death. Okay. Yeah, let me move on to the next. Okay, they have manifested animal culture. Their sophisticated hunting techniques and vocal behaviors. This is about the killer whales. Often specific to a particular group and passed along from generation to generation, are considered to be manifestations of animal culture. So they love to hunt, to kill so much. They have sophisticated hunting techniques. What this means is that they have created instrumentalities to hunt, like licenses. What is a license? It's a permission granted by competent authority to engage in a business or occupation or activity that is otherwise unlawful. It allows them the freedom to be used irresponsibly, disregarding standards of personal conduct or common sense or the law of God. Basically, it takes away the legal or moral constraints. So this manifested animal culture has been inculcated into our society through laws, and even we support it. That's what I was saying in the beginning, in part one. We have come to accept it as normal, and we argue in their stead. Mischief, mischief, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? When they create a license by law that allows them to engage in immoral, unlawful behavior, they're framing mischief by a law. When, like, look at all the laws that are coming up, like protecting the alphabet community and all these other nefarious activities. That's framing mischief by a law. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. These private meetings they have to plan, scheme. You have to look at it that way. When they're having these meetings, they're planning and scheming of how they're going to achieve the agenda of destroying the kingdom of God. Point blank and simple. That's all they're doing. Do not be misled. That's exactly what they're doing. So they're mischievous, causing injury and damage. They're evil. Okay. They frame mischief by a law. And the biggest mischievous law is science. Okay. The only law we have is the biblical law. So what is animal culture? It can be defined as the ability of non-human animals to learn and transmit behaviors through processes of social or cultural learning. I have quite a long read here, but I'm going to go through it real quickly. So the existence, first of all, animal culture, that's the shape-shifting and cultural appropriation or misappropriation. Okay, so the existence of culture in non-humans has been a contentious subject, sometimes forcing researchers to think what it is to be human. Remember what I said? Human is a nexus. We've been decreased to the human level as children of God. They've been elevated to the human. So we are mixing and mingling there. The notion of culture in other animals dates back to Aristotle in classical antiquity and more recently to Charles Darwin, evolution theory. So see who they're talking about? This is what they mean by evolution. They have evolved from that aquatic marine animal to an amphibian to a reptile and now to a human. Okay. So evidence for animal culture is often based on studies of feeding behaviors, Hunger Games, vocalizations, predator avoidance, mate selection, and migratory routes. So when they talk about evolution, this is exactly what they mean, from amphibian to reptile to human. Like I said again, I'm going to repeat it. Human is a nexus, and this occurs in the metropolitan and cosmopolitan jurisdictions a lot. You know, controlled or under the control of the principalities and municipalities. Their job is to make sure that there's a mixing, a uniformity, integration, people fighting for human rights. These are entities, non-human entities fighting for human rights. That's what's going on. And this happens a lot in those cosmopolitan areas, metropolitan areas. Okay. Okay, what is the other characteristics? They have manifested animal culture specific vocal learning. Vocal learning is the ability to modify acoustic and syntactic sounds, acquire new sounds via imitation, and produce vocalizations. They're learning how to speak. These cetaceans, mostly marine mammals that include whales, dolphins, porpoises, they're the ones that have that vocal learning ability. This has been seen in killer whales. So what they do is they mimic a lot. So they mimic both literally and figuratively in every sense of the word. And I remember my dad used to tell us stories that these creatures will come to your door at night. They will sound like someone you know. So this is another level of mimicry, urging you to open the door to them and say, do not open. These are demonic Orsines. These are the shape shifters, these marine kingdom creatures. This is who they are. I'm showing you right here. Okay, vocal learning. All members of a resident pod use similar calls known collectively as a dialect. Dialects are composed of specific numbers and types of discrete repetitive calls. They are complex and stable over time. Call patterns and structure are distinctive within matrilines. So what's a dialect? It's a variety of language used by the members of a group. So dialects such as politics. Politics has its own dialect. Advertising has its own dialect. Lawlessness has its own dialect. So it's not the way we think of dialect when you're talking about our different nations and tribes. Okay? So dialect in this sense is those subdivisions they have created in their principalities, in their municipalities to carry out the functions of their organs or their organizations. They have different dialects for every structure within there. Okay? So dialects are composed of specific numbers, discrete repetitive calls. This is the gematria, the numbers, okay, numerology, gematria. And this is the autistic aspect of these creatures. They just keep on repeating and repeating. They will wear you out with repetition. They will just keep on doing it like robots. And that's why we're being ushered into that robotic age, okay? It's just the same thing on, and the droning on. Drones, drone, on. They will wear you out. That's why we need Jesus to return to save us from this. I know people disagree with that, but as you shall see, we need help, and help is on the way. They are intelligent. This is why I'm saying they will wear us out. Orcas have more gray matter and more cortical neurons than any mammal, including humans. Orcas have the second heaviest brains among marine mammals. That's after sperm whales, which have the largest brain of any animal. So the sperm whales have the largest brain, but orcas have the largest gray matter and more cortical neurons. Pause, look up what cortical neurons do. Why, if you have more of them, how, if you have more of them, how you function. Look up at gray matter. Gray matter controls the cognitive and emotional functions and some motor and also has some motor control. So just based on brain work, they will win. Okay, just based on brain work, they will win. Who or what else has a huge brain and gray matter? The gray aliens. You see that gray is coming in again? Gray area. The gray weather. Okay, grays are directly related to gray matter, and they are from the same dark kingdom of the underworld kingdom. You know, experiment after experiment trying to match God in creation. These are demons. I can't find that video right now, but there's somebody years ago saying that they're using these euphemisms. They do that a lot, switching up the language. And so they present this as aliens, but no, those are demonic entities. So these grays are typically described as being human-like with small bodies, smooth gray-colored skin, enlarged hairless heads, and large black eyes. It has emerged as the archetypical image of an intelligent, non-human creature and extraterrestrial life in general. Okay? These are the intelligent, non-human creatures, intelligent, non-human life form. It's also an iconic trope of popular culture in the age of space exploration. So these grays are engineered to have excessive gray matter. They are so desperate to imitate the children of God, but I can assure you that this will never happen. And I condemn this evil activity right now in the name of Jesus. They fail to understand that intelligence is true intelligence, ascension intelligence is a mixture of brain power and the spark of God, that God gene that they're looking for so desperately. Okay, next. Orcas, they're in, sorry, let me see. Wait, okay. Oh, more on the intelligence. These orcas can be trained in captivity and are often described as intelligent. Okay. So, but okay, brains without the Spirit of God leads to death and destruction. So do not envy their large brains. We can see how they just, all they're doing is destroy, 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 destroy. Brains without the Spirit of God leads to death and destruction. You can quote me on that. Okay? Brains without the Spirit of God leads to death and destruction. So what they're doing here is imitating unable to create. So basically, if they can't imitate something, if they can't match it, they'll destroy it. So it doesn't happen. It didn't exist. It's not there. It's like, I don't want to see that. Let's destroy it. That challenge, they can't, that's sick. It's a challenge they can't meet, they'll destroy it. So what they do is create confusion and destroy. What does the Bible say? Let's not marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Okay? Transforming shapeshifters imitate. Yeah, they use that gray matter. But what we know that spiritual divine intelligence is far more superior to any amount of gray matter. And we are waking up from the sleep, from the slumber, and they know it. Their days are numbered. They have no chance. Let us be aware of Satan's devices, like I and others are showing you, so that we cannot be outwitted by these entities. Okay, next characteristics, they are highly social. They're highly social. Some populations are composed of highly stable matrilineal family group pods. Please watch the video that I did a while back, the three magi. It talks a bit about the pods. What is a pod? A pod is a pond. They trace their kinship through the female line. This is imitation because Jesus' kinship, K-I-N, is through his mother. But his kingship, K-I-N-G, is through his father. They do the same thing. Okay, you can, if you want, pause and go through this. But in reading this, you would think they're talking about a human social structure. Yeah, because they are adopting human behaviors. So they display apex predator feeding behavior. Okay. Like I said before, the white shark is an apex predator, but the orcas still prey on them. Often to avoid injury, orcas disable their prey before killing and eating it. This may involve throwing it in the air, slapping it with their tails, ramming it, or breaching and landing on it. Hunger Games. They display cannibalism. They eat the flesh of an animal. Sorry, what's cannibalism? It's eating the flesh of an animal by another animal of the same kind. Is this why they are secretly forcing cannibalism in the commercial food production industry? I mean, we have people all over confessing how they put in these fast food restaurants, they put human flesh. It's all over the place. They're cannibalist at heart, okay? They kill for no apparent reason. They occasionally harass and kill porpoises and seals for no apparent reason. This is hunting for sport behavior. Trophy hunting is killing for no apparent reason. It is a psychopathy, and most diabolical reasons are usually given for what they're doing. We are killing to save the animals. So they pay you so they can kill. I don't get it. Like when they come to the national parks, which by the way, they're the ones who've set those up for this reason. So they'll pay you to kill 2 elephants so that you can have money to conserve the rest. This is diabolical. Okay? It's just unbelievable. So it has been suggested that narcissism, Machiavellianism, and non-clinical psychopathy are all involved. The so-called dark triad of personality characteristics of people who kill for fun and then celebrate it. Absolutely no conscience. Okay? Hunting for trophies. They love the smell of death and the sight of blood. Okay? Witchcraft. So we must understand by now that hunting is one of the reasons they established national parks and game reserves. There could be other reasons, but this is the main reason. When they are ready for that, that to scratch that itch, they go to a game reserve and just kill. Local people, do the local people kill animals? Yes, for specific reasons, for protection, because they're being attacked by them, they just don't go looking for the animals to kill them, or for food. And even then, for food, only specific animals are targeted for food. Okay, people just, it's bizarre to me how somebody can just fly a million miles to go kill and post it and brag about it. They engage in surplus killings, these orcas. This is killing that is not designed to be for food. And this is different from killing for sport or for fun. And this ties into the supply chain management and food distribution. See, they enjoy having so much stuff that they at the expense of others. This is greed. It's a pathological need to control. And how does this look like in everyday life? It's manufacturing of excess goods and then destroying them. If you cannot afford to participate in their little economy system, they dump tons of food just because they can. Okay, this is a psychotic, satanic behavior. The supreme creator of the universe gives us the right to choose, but these creatures will do whatever is opposite of truth. Opposite of freedom is control. Killers control. Okay? They are of the culture of death. This is surplus. Shiny, pretty, and new, and rapidly rusting unused. They'll produce this, but if you won't participate in their economy game, they're going to dump those cars. And this is happening all over. While thousands of Americans need food, nation's largest farmers are destroying millions of pounds of fresh goods that they can no longer sell. I mean, why don't you just give it up? Give it out. Like, it's such one-minded. They won't even think, oh, I can give this up. No, I gotta sell it. Killers in Eden. There was a movie, a documentary, Killers in Eden. Okay? The irony of the title. These are killer whales known for their cooperation with human hunters of cetacean species. The killer whales would find target whales and shepherd them into twofold bay. That's the name of a bay. And then swim many kilometers away from the location of the hunt to alert the whalers at their cottage to their presence and often help to kill the whales. Just think of this. They would, what's the word to use? They would lead other whales, there's a particular word, I can't think of it right now, to their death. And they still do that to this day, yeah? Orcas practice infanticide. In this incident, on this this image we see here, an adult male killed the calf of a female within the same pod, with the adult male's mother also joining in the assault. It is theorized that the male killed the young calf in order to mate with its mother. Okay? And this was once thought to occur only in captive orcas, but it happens everywhere. Okay, other characteristics, they have good eyesight above and below the water. That's the amphibious characteristic. They have excellent hearing, a good sense of touch. They have exceptionally sophisticated echolocation abilities. That's your Siri. Detecting the location and characteristic of prey and other objects in the water by emitting clicks and listening for echoes, as do other members of the dolphin family. So this is a member of the dolphin family, but look at how nobody even knows that about dolphins. Okay, the Orcas have an unknown origin. So are they GMO? The orca is one of 35 species in the oceanic dolphin family, which first appeared about 11 million years ago, not too long ago. So research off the west coast of North America has identified fish-eating residents, these are the titles they give them, mammal-eating transients, and offshores. So if man, a human being, is a mammal, and you have mammal-eating transients, and these are shape-shifting entities, do you get the picture? People go missing, you know, especially along water bodies. Are you a resident of this country? You get a green card when you transition from the amphibian to a reptile full-time. You get onto the land with the green flora and fauna. Please watch the 3 Magi video on this channel. Okay, the orca is a dolphin, like I said. Oceanic dolphins range in size from 5'7", 110 pounds, to 31 feet and 10 metric ton. Okay, so the largest known dolphin, an orca, is that big. Are dolphins natural God-ordained animals? Are they hybrid animals? We must be vigilant to the deception around us. Where are all these animals that we interact with coming from? What are these creatures? Are they GMO satanic creatures? I mean, not all animals, but specific animals. I mean, like the orca, the penguin, the panda, the butterfly. Where do they come from? Okay. So let's look at evolution. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. So they appeared 11 million years ago. Is evolution a euphemism for GMO? Did they achieve evolution from reptiles by modifying genes and mixing genes? And, it's all the mutts, M-U-T-T-S, I think. Are they still doing that today? We know they are. So they are of the family Delphinidae. Back to the language with words like Philadelphia, Delphi in Greek, with the orcas. So in Roman was Cyclops in Greece. Okay, wait. So in Greece, it's Delphi, orcas in Roman, and Cyclops in Greek. I think there is infighting, and this one wants to come to the top of the animal kingdom. And if we are classified as animals, they want to dominate us. And anytime you hear evolution, just know that's genetic engineering, genetic manipulation. That's what evolution means in this specific case, but I think really in all cases. Let's look at words common to Del. The word here is Del. Delphi. Delphine. And I'll do that later. Words like Dell computers, daily, D life. D means to do the opposite of, right? Okay, let me go through this so I don't spend too much time on one. Okay, John 10:10, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and they might have it more abundantly. And so this genetic engineering is destruction. Their king is the angel of the bottomless pit. Like it says in Revelation 9:11, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. The Apollyon, that's your Apple computers, by the way, like the one I'm using right now. Okay, let's see. We're almost done, yes. So, therefore, enduring saints, viewers, like it says in 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So I've just described the characteristics of this entity, and you can see how we are living in those times right now. I didn't make this up. I'm just pulling it from the literature we have all around us and connecting the dots. If you think differently, please leave a comment below. I'm always open to learning and being corrected, right? I'm not above correction. And this brings us to the end of part 2. In part 3, we will see how other cultures that have encountered these entities around the world describe them. This is important as it will further solidify what the formal scientific community has said about them. Like that was the part 2. Okay, in part 3, we'll also look at the words Delphi and Cetacean, which is the order and family of the ORCA. And we'll see how they present in the everyday life. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Questions, comments, suggestions are always welcome. If this resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. We must reach as many people as possible. Remember, all is truth. There can only be truth. Everything else is a distraction. Do not be distracted. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next.